Will Arsenal sack Mikel Arteta? In what many will see as potentially Arsenal's worst performance of the season, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal lost 2-1 to an Everton side 8 games without a win. But what will this embarrassing result mean for the future of Arteta as Arsenal manager? Also, is there a rift developing between the Arsenal captain Aubameyang and Mikel Arteta? And is Gabriel Martinelli set for a stint on the sidelines via injury? Let's find out in the latest Arsenal news today. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Baz14, and yes, Depression FC Arsenal lost 2-1 and it was a frankly embarrassing performance. So to cheer your boys' mood, I'll make sure to go down there and smash a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the boys' channel if you guys are new, because yes, we are still on the road to 70,000 subscribers. But let's get into the Arsenal news and the future of the Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta. Unfortunately, my friends, there is only one place to start, and as last night's embarrassment against Everton, a 2-1 defeat against a team that had gone 8 games without a win. A last-minute Damari Gray screamer won the game for Everton, and you know what, even your boy couldn't deny it. It was a deserved win. In terms of the expected goals, Everton had 1.05, whereas Arsenal had 0.94. You're telling me a team sat 14th in the Premier League, 8 games without a win, out expected goals, big almighty top 4 fighting Arsenal Football Club. Talk about an embarrassment. That's painful to even listen to. In terms of the Arsenal manager after the game on the defeat, he says, "In the first half, we were very inconsistent with the ball. We had control of the game. We didn't concede anything apart from that one set piece, but I didn't like it. No penetration, no threat, and totally contrary to what we tried to do." Talk to me, Mikel, and tell me exactly what do you want your teams to do? Because you've been at Arsenal now for 2 years now, and I still see a consistently awful Arsenal attack. And even in terms of that first half when Arsenal took the lead, as Charles Watt points out, Arsenal had just 2 touches in the opposition box during that first half. One, of course, being the goal itself. But overall, again, it was an embarrassing attacking Arsenal performance. And this is becoming a consistent theme under the Arsenal manager. Now, I can see fans saying, but Babs, Mikel Arteta doesn't have his own attackers. And you know what, I agree with that. But at the same time, the likes of Aubameyang, Saka, Smith-Rowe, Martin Odegaard, Nicolas Pepe, and Alexandre Lacazette, these are not awful attackers. These are not attackers certainly should be 19th for big chances created. I'm not saying I want a perfect Arsenal attack, but I just want a top half Arsenal attack which is somewhat threatening. And as pointed out by the Premier League panel, Arsenal aren't just losing control of games by suddenly sitting too deep against elite sides. They're doing it against teams that are quite average in possession. This is a systematic and tactical issue that just simply isn't limited to personnel, but by coaching. Nearly 2 full years as an Arsenal manager, and do we see a clear style in the Arsenal attack? Personally, I want to say no. Just look at the likes of West Ham United, and at the start of Arteta's regime, answer me properly. Would you guys have stopped Mikel Arteta for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? Would you guys have stopped Gerard Bowen for Nicolas Pepe? Even though Arsenal don't have perfect attackers, they're far better than what they're currently performing at. Arteta says we couldn't get the ball into the final third. We kept giving the ball away. Sloppy passes, sloppy touches. They are not going to give you that time on the ball. You have to know what to expect, and the spaces were there, and it wasn't good enough. But even in our last game at Old Trafford, which for me was a must-win game, it was exactly the same pattern. Arsenal took the lead, started off pretty well, but once again sat back and were scared to take the initiative. Instead of going in for the kill, the Arsenal players sat back in a comfortable deep block. And in terms of your boy, I think that's the angriest I've been after a game in a long time. And what really just does my nut in is the fact that every time Arsenal concede a goal, they seem to release the handbrake, they seem to start attacking and sustaining some sort of pressure. They show to the Arsenal fanbase that they can indeed attack. And even after conceding that goal yesterday, they made 3 or 4 clear-cut chances in a matter of just 10 minutes. But there seems to be some sort of inferiority complex in these players' minds, some sort of mindset which means they just don't want to go in for a kill. But after this embarrassing result, what does this mean for the future of the Arsenal manager? Because I've seen a lot of fans now say, enough is enough, it's time to go. He's had his time now, he's got his players as well, and his performances are simply not good enough. And so the question towards the Arsenal board is, are they finally going to sack Mikel Arteta? Well, the short answer to that is no. This time last year, Arsenal sat 15th in the Premier League. The bottom half, Arsenal Football Club, big old gargantuan Arsenal Football Club, 15th, losing to the likes of Everton at home, Wolves at home, Burnley at home, and even then the Arsenal board still backed Mikel Arteta. Fast forward to the Europa League semi-final last year against Villarreal, Unai Emery, the manager, they sacked as well. Arsenal put in 2 pathetic performances and got knocked out in the semi-finals, and once again the Arsenal board backed Mikel Arteta. In terms of last summer transfer window, Arsenal gave this guy £150 million to spend, once again backing the manager with their own money. In terms of the start of the season, Arsenal made their worst start in 30 and 40 years, and once again they back Mikel Arteta. Do you guys really think the Arsenal board are now going to sack Mikel Arteta after all that's happened? After all they've backed him in the transfer market and all the words and the PR, whatever you want to say, the interviews, that Mikel Arteta is the guy, this is the process. And as exciting as it sounds to talk about new managers, Ten Hag, Graham Potter, a full day after this result, no reliable reporters Fabrizio Ornstein have come out and said there's any sort of pressure on Mikel Arteta. And in terms of your boy, even though there is no defending Mikel Arteta, as long as he remains the Arsenal manager, I am always going to support him and the team, because that is the job of me, the fan, me, the supporter. Thick or thin, I'm always going to support Arsenal Football Club. But as per, my friends, let me know your own thoughts down below on the game first things first, but also on the future of Mikel Arteta. If you want to sack him, who do you guys want to see replace him? And are there still fans that believe in his project? Talking about pathetic performances, let's talk Thomas Partey. Because in this game, Thomas Partey lost more duels, 9 out of 14, than any other Arsenal player. £45 million, Thomas Partey, TT, zoom, zoom, zoom. It was beautiful scenes. It was a Partey last deadline day. And when Arsenal activated the release clause, this was meant to be the revolutionary signing. He was meant to make Arsenal's midfield the real deal, and he was meant to be the game changer. But this is now back-to-back Thomas Partey stinkers. In terms of this game, completed 69 passes and only 2 out of 7 accurate long balls, and 4 out of 12 ground duels won. Now on one side, of course, I don't want to go too hard because I'm a massive fan of Thomas Partey. I see talent, I see potential. But at the same time, we're not career mode FC. This guy is 28 years of age. These are meant to be his peak years. With the level that he is performing at right now, every time he gets the ball, it's heart in mouth moments for myself. As of right now, I don't trust him to make a single 5-yard pass. But in terms of yourselves, my friends, what do you guys make of Thomas Partey? And do you guys still believe in the Ghanaian to come good in an Arsenal shirt? But in terms of one of the few positives in this game, it was a certain Martin Odegaard. And in terms of the stats themselves, of course, scored a goal, had 4 key passes as well, completed 4 out of 5 accurate long balls, and 2 out of 2 successful dribbles. As you guys are aware, your boy has always been a fan of Martin Odegaard, and in terms of this game, he was by far Arsenal's standout player. Odegaard, when Arsenal in defeat, says it's a hard one to take. I think it is a mindset problem. When you are leading 1-0, you get afraid to lose the win, and in my opinion, that's what we did wrong. You go for the second goal, and that was the intention, but we didn't manage to do that on the pitch. But in terms of your boy right now, I can't lie to you guys, I don't have a Scooby-Doo who to blame. Is it Arteta? Is the personnel? So I'm just going to ask you guys in the comments to answer it instead. Who do you guys think is to blame for Arsenal not being able to kill off games and sitting on that D block? Is it the manager, or is it the Arsenal players and the Arsenal personnel? Okay, then let's move on to Eddie Nketiah. I want to talk about Nketiah for a second because I think he's a player that has caused a lot of controversy after last night. And as Arsenal says here, bringing on Nketiah ahead of Aubameyang or Pepe and playing him out of position when we needed to go most was the worst of Arteta. You are not teaching anyone lessons beyond the one that you think you are far smarter than you are. In terms of the player himself, I actually thought he was somewhat decent coming off the bench. And yes, he did miss an absolute sitter. But at the same time, in terms of overall impact off the bench, I thought Nketiah did affect the game in a positive manner. But what I simply cannot understand is a week after confirmed reports came out that he has rejected another Arsenal contract proposal and has made it clear he wants to leave Arsenal Football Club. Why is Mikel Arteta once again giving him minutes over the Arsenal captain, over the Arsenal record signing, and also over a certain young Arsenal striker who has committed his long-term future in Folarin Balogun? And talking about Balogun, according to David Ornstein, Arsenal have decided to let Folarin Balogun leave on loan in January until the summer. Huge interest in the 20-year-old striker. It could change, but current thinking is to get regular season action, which Arsenal currently can't offer for now. But at the same time, this time last year, it was Balogun and his whole Arsenal contract saga. And a lot of Arsenal fans, including your boy, were saying, don't play Balogun until he signs that brand new contract. And since then, Balogun has responded by signing a long-term Arsenal contract and committing his future to the club. Whereas in the opposite of Folarin Balogun, you have Eddie Nketiah, who is refusing to commit his long-term Arsenal future, he still getting minutes over Balogun, Pepe and Aubameyang. Even though he had a good impact for me, it simply does not make any sense whatsoever, and in my opinion it is poor management from the side of Mikel Arteta. Talking about strikers, what about the Arsenal captain, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? Well, after the game, Gary Neville has said, I think there will be a problem with Aubameyang off the back of this game. I don't think he'll like the idea of Nketiah coming on. I don't think he'll like the idea of being a sub full stop. Now, in terms of Aubameyang not starting this game, I can't disagree with it, because Aubameyang's form recently has been absolutely abysmal, missing sitter after sitter, chance after chance. But in terms of the fact that when Arsenal needed to score a goal, the fact that Mikel Arteta chose to bring on a player who hasn't signed a long-term Arsenal contract in Nketiah over the Arsenal captain and Arsenal's best goal scorer, that for me was a statement of intent, and for me it was not the best of signs in terms of the Arsenal captain and the Arsenal manager. Neville continues to say, I expect if Arteta could get any money for him and get someone else in, they probably probably would. And I bet if Aubameyang could move on, he probably would as well. It maybe could just turn a little bit sour. But even in terms of yesterday's game, once Arteta finally decided to bring on the Arsenal captain, he once again missed another sitter. Pierre, my friend, what is going on? Please just talk to me. And what do you guys make of this whole Aubameyang and Arteta situation? And do you guys think there's a rift behind the scenes? Here is a photo of Nicolas Pepe being overlooked by Eddie Nketiah to come on, and as you guys can see, he is not a happy camper on the Arsenal bench. Arsenal's record signing 72 great British million pounds spent on this guy, and after Gabriel Martinelli's injury, Arsenal brought on a striker instead of a winger. And in terms of goal contributions, Pepe was Arsenal's top goal contributor last year, 21 goals assist over Lacazette and Aubameyang. So yes, while he's not by any means a perfect attacker, he has still proven over his Arsenal career that he is a very good overall goal threat. And as Albino points out, that means that our record signing Nicolas Pepe has now played 5 minutes in the last 7 Premier League games and none at all in the last 3 games that Arsenal have lost. That for me is as clear as an indication this is the end of Nicolas Pepe's Arsenal career, at least under the regime of Mikel Arteta. Okay, then let's move on to the other Arsenal news today. And starting off with another negative, this is negative vibes FC, a potential injury to Arsenal's Brazilian star boy, Gabriel Martinelli. As Mikel Arteta after the game on Martinelli's injury says, "I don't know, we will have to assess him. He felt something in his hamstring, so I'm not very positive about it." It's mad because in terms of injuries right now, Arsenal actually have pretty much a fully fit squad. And after the return of Granit Xhaka, Arsenal only have Sead Kolasinac on the Arsenal sidelines. But of course, in terms of the forwards, Gabriel Martinelli started this game because Smith Rowe wasn't fit. And even though him getting forced out with a hamstring is not positive news, at the same time, our fingers are crossed that ESR can return to full fitness going into that must-win, massive, gargantuan game against Southampton on Saturday. Here's a stat from Albino. Arsenal have lost 6 games this season. The only Premier League season that Arsenal had lost more after 15 games was 2021, also under Mikel Arteta. Yet another damning stat when it comes to Arteta and his team. This is not looking good for the Arsenal manager. One thing that has been absolutely awful is the Arsenal away form this year. It has been pathetic. And as you guys can see, here are the Arsenal results away from home this season. Lost to Brentford, lost to Man City, beat Burnley, drew Brighton, beat Leicester, and then 3 losses in a row to Liverpool, Manchester United and Everton. 8 games in total, 2 wins and 5 losses. Simply not good enough. And yes, the Arsenal home form has been far better, but this is a team that wants to make Champions League football. Look at that form and tell me, is that Champions League form that Arsenal required to get towards that position? And here are the teams that Arsenal have beaten this season. 20th place Norwich City, 18th place Burnley, Tottenham who soon sacked their manager, Aston Villa who soon sacked their manager, Leicester 11th, Watford 17th and 19th place Newcastle. Yo, I can't lie to you guys, looking at these stats, it is looking really negative right now. And look, I don't want to be a negative person, I'm trying not to portray a negative vibe, I am simply reading off facts off paper. As always, your boy wants to remain positive, but at the same time right now, this is the definition of doom and gloom FC. But yeah, in terms of the next game, it's Southampton at home. That is as must win as a game as it ever gets, and dare I say, if Arteta was to lose that game, will not get the win, then the pressure would well and truly mount. My fingers across the Arsenal can turn it around, but as per my friends, the question to you guys is in terms of Arsenal position. After the last 2 results, where do you guys honestly think the Arsenal will finish come the end of the season? But that is the video there and there. If you guys have enjoyed, make sure to go down there and smash a like on the video, and also do subscribe to your boy's channel if you guys are new. If you would like to follow your boy on them social medias, then the links will be down below in the description. But that was the latest Arsenal news today. It was an embarrassing performance against Everton. It hurts me right now. I'm really angry, but we move on to the future. Southampton on the weekend. I will see you guys soon. Keep the faith as always, and yeah, in a bit.